I just want to do a quick update. I don't know why my camera won't charge, so I'm gonna have to investigate. So I'm sorry for the bad audio. But I did want to say that I did wind up finishing a book. I wound up finishing Christmas in the Scottish Highlands. And it was just fun. I felt like I was reading a Christmas movie, like a Hallmark movie, and it was worked. It was just fun. It was quick. The one thing I really liked about this book is that it had like a bunch of different happy endings for a bunch of different characters. So I just didn't feel like I was reading like one character's happy ending. I felt like there was a lot. I felt like the character, like the town was a character, which I love in my small towns. It gave me like Hannah Swenson vibes, which like those books I struggle with sometimes, but I do like the how I felt like the town is normally a character in those books when those books are done well. I liked it. There was a lot of side characters. There was a lot of animals. She's a teacher. Um, and she was just a fun character. I felt like there was a lot going on with all the characters and there was a lot of moments, and I just felt like even though we had two main characters, I felt like the side characters really were fleshed out. And normally when I read like a book like this, I want every character to get their own book, but I felt like she did a really good job at like getting everyone a somewhat happy ending at the end of the book. It was fun. It was definitely like the end was the end and they like decided to be together, so there was no like flash forward, I guess. But I enjoyed it. It was fun. I probably gave it like 4 stars on Goodreads, like 3.75. It was fun. Now I don't know what I want to read next. I don't know if I want to read like a YA. I don't know if I want to read an adult. I have more adult this year than YA, which is not normally the case. So I might just look. Oh, let me see how my Kindle's doing because my Kindle might need to charge. Yeah, I can probably maybe read something else on my Kindle if I find something. But I also do have physical books that like should probably get read. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I also want to focus on the Reindeer Readathon this week and get a lot of those books done. But I want to first get like all the Christmassy books done for that because that was the plan. So I'm gonna go see what I want to read, what I'm in the mood to read. And then I'll check back in with you guys. So bye. Through 8 Nights of Flirting, which I am very, very liking. It's fun. It's definitely like definitely my type of romance book. I will say that. Like I'm really, really liking that one. You basically follow these two friends, lessons of seduction. She wants to try to get another man, but she might up falling for the man or the boy that she's known forever. So that's one of my favorite tropes. Second chance to more, or friends to more, or sort of friends enemies to more is this one. But it's very, very fun. I love the Hanukkah setting. We get so many Christmas romances. We really don't get enough other holidays, so I'm excited to like read it. I think I'm gonna pick up Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran. She wrote The Charm Offensive and people loved it last year. I didn't get around to reading that one, but I'm gonna give this one a shot. Tomorrow I am going into the city and I am doing a bit of Christmas shopping, so at some point tonight I have to plan a game plan for that. But yeah, I've also not succeeded in my mission to catch up on videos before Bookmas starts. I filmed Bookmas, I filmed like 5 videos, so but I was hoping to be caught up by then and I'm not. So I'm gonna kind of sit down. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. This is also one of the prompts for the Reindeer Readathon. I have to read a book with cursive on the cover, so I'm gonna start reading this. I don't know what it's about. I want to go in a little bit blind. I know it's LGBTQ plus. This time it's two women, and I'm excited. So I'm gonna go read. Play with the puppy if needed. It's raining, and I feel bad she can't go outside. So if it gets a little bit not as wet, I might take her. But she's a shepherd, and if you take her out in the rain, she'll get ear infections. So, or at least the potentiality to get ear infections, and we would like to avoid that. So yeah, I'm gonna go read a little bit of this, read about 50 pages. I'll give you guys an update. Again, sorry my camera is not cooperating today. I have to wait for my mom to get home to charge my battery because I never know how to charge it, and then both of them don't charge. So sorry for the weird volume. I do apologize, but I really have to get this up on Sunday, so you're gonna have a bunch of clips. Some on my camera, some on my computer, and my computer has bad volume, as I've learned. So all right, I'm gonna go read this and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, friends. Lori here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up reading the first 50 pages in Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's definitely a really fun Christmassy book. I will say that. Like, they're set right around Christmas. So it's a dual timeline story because you're getting Ellie in the present as she's sort of her life has a little bit fallen apart. She's not living her dream job. I will say that she's recently got fired from an animation job. She's working at a coffee shop where her boss is sort of annoying and like won't give her the promotion she wants. And she's sort of coming off of last year Christmas Eve meeting a woman she really, really liked and then just never progressing past that. So she sort of uses a comic she's writing to sort of retell that relationship and sort of get a little bit of closure. But when she winds up going out with the coffee owner's boss, she may have a possible solution to her money issue, because he's looking for a fake wife to date so he can get access to an inheritance, and she needs money for a bunch of reasons. So that part's interesting to me. Normally when you read a fake dating romance, it's like turns into more. I don't think that's going to be the element in this book, which I think is unique and kind of a fun twist. I love the setting. I love the characters. When I heard Peace Love Books talk about The Charm Offensive, she said it had a lot of anxiety rep, and I do spy that a lot in the main character as well. And sometimes when I read anxiety rep, the book's very, very well written. It makes me incredibly anxious because I feel like being in the character's head is a lot sometimes. I don't feel that for our main character, Ellie, so I'm intrigued. I love that a bookstore is present and accounted for. I love that we have 2 dual timelines, which I normally like. I like seeing the characters fall in love and then see the present element. But yeah, I'm going to go read another 50 more pages, and it's a fun read. We're getting snow and stuff like that, which is fun. So yeah, I'm going to read 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys an update. So when we get to 100, we'll check in. Hopefully I can do that before I go to bed tonight. If not, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. But I have a long commute tomorrow, so I'm hoping to finish this and finish 8 Nights of Flirting. We'll see if that happens, but when I read about 50 more pages, I'll update you guys. Bye, friends. Back. I actually wound up taking an unexpected sick day because I'm not feeling my best. I'm battling a small sinus infection, which always happens this time of year. In like December and January, I feel like I'm always battling a sinus infection. So yeah, I took today. I went to urgent visit. I got some medicine, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow. But yesterday was a very, very busy day. I did a lot of Christmas shopping yesterday, which is probably why I overdid it a little bit, and I got a bunch of Christmas shopping done yesterday with my friends, but I didn't really read enough. I only got up to page 200 today of Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran. I really, really like her writing style, like, quite a bit. The only thing that would make this book a little bit better for me is if it was dual point of view. Again, I always say that I prefer my romances with dual point of view because I feel like you get to know both characters, but there is a lot of mystery in this. So, like, you basically get, like, the present timeline, which is where Ellie accidentally is fake engaged to her ex's brother. It's very, very complicated, very, very convoluted, but it's a fun premise, and I like the family dynamics. Like, I like the found family dynamics that she's developing, because Ellie's family is a little bit complicated and she feels a little bit isolated. Ellie's also a planner. She has severe anxiety. So it's just very interesting being in her head, and I don't feel like it's overwhelming either. But I do like her writing style quite a bit. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, I think you'll really, really like this. It's also just a fun read. Like, it's very, very quick and it's engaging. I have a small headache, which is probably why I'm not reading as much as I normally would. But I'm trying to, like, get everything feeling better so I can head back to work tomorrow. But I'm on page 200, so I can hopefully finish the rest of this today as I'm just reading and sort of relaxing. But yeah, I'm liking it. It's definitely fun. It's like a perfect Christmas read. They're trapped in like this cabin, and there's a stipulation in the will that Andrew has to marry someone to get the rest of his inheritance, and she has a dynamic with his sister, but they don't know about that. Well, one person in the family does. And then there is every other chapter there was like a comic where she's like telling you the comic of her story with Jax and also the future experience that she's living now. She's also an animator, which I like. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go back to reading, and when I read to page 250, I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends. I just want to do another quick update. Sorry, I am filming on my computer still because I'm a little bit lazy. But I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 250 in Kiss Her Once for Me. I'm really enjoying it. It's like a very, very fun read, and not necessarily a story that I expected. Like, there is a lot of complexity, there is a lot of miscommunication, but I do like the wintry setting. I do like the 2 main characters. I do like we have elements where like we're getting her comics as well, which I think is very, very interesting.
I do like all the characters. I like that there's a found family element. I like that there's a bunch of different environments in the story, and I think it's fun. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to hopefully read about 50 more pages. When I get to the 300 mark, I'll definitely give you guys another update, but it's fun. I think it's probably going to be a new holiday favorite, and I definitely want to read more by this author in the future. I do like the anxiety rep a lot, and I also just like the setting. There's a lot of fun characters in here, and it's a very, very witty read, which I'm just enjoying. So I'm going to go read about 50 more pages, and I'll give you guys an update. Bye, friends.
I'm back. I think I'm definitely gonna go back to work tomorrow, which is very, very exciting. I hate missing work, especially when I don't plan it, because then like I feel like I didn't leave anything for the kids, and then they're going to be off kilter. And December is always a crazy month anyway because of the holidays and stuff. So, but I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 300 in Kiss Her Once for Me. This book is very, very steamy, I will say that, and I'm really liking it. It does have a cheating trope, I will say that, like a pretty obvious one as well, sort of going into it. But it's a very, very complicated read, and I do really like Ellie as a main character. I also think like as the story is progressing, you're learning a lot more about Ellie, um, and she's definitely the character that you're focusing on. But I do feel like the characters are very interesting. There was the massive blow up that happens, like every almost 90% of the YA books and adult books have a third act breakup, and this one was a massive miscommunication, which is not always my favorite trope, honestly, but this blew up, I'll say that. So I'm very curious to see how the last 60 pages are going to work out, because it's not only one relation at the heart of the story, it's also two relationships, which I think is very, very compelling. So I'm very, very intrigued. I'm also watching Peace Loves Books. I'm very, very far behind on YouTube videos. My goal for YouTube is to be caught up on my queue by December 31st. So we'll see if that actually happens. But yeah, so I'm going to go read another 60 pages and wrap up this. And then I have a stack of books for a prompt for the Reindeer Readathon that like are Christmassy but wouldn't really fit in any of the prompts. So I have a lot of books to choose for that. So yeah, I'm also still listening to 8 Nights of Flirting by Hannah Reynolds. I have about an hour left of that. When I go to work tomorrow, I probably will go to work tomorrow. I should be fine. I'll probably finish that because I have 4 periods off in a row tomorrow, and my coworker got the flu, so I want to have her in my office, and I love her because she's so cute and so fun. But we chat. So yeah. I also have to start announcing to my classes that we're doing Alice in Wonderland next semester, which is going to be crazy as it is. But they were very excited to learn about that. So yeah, I am going to go read about 50 more pages, and then I'll give you guys a solid check-in and give you guys my thoughts, and then we'll choose the next read and we'll chat. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I'm back. I did finally finish Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran. I really, really enjoyed this book. I would say it's probably going to be like a 4.5-star read. I think it was fun. I really adored the found family elements, and I really loved the, the romance. I loved the 2 timelines. I loved how we had some elements which were her comics. I think this book needed to be one person. I don't think it needed to be dual point of view, but I enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna think about my rating, and I'm probably gonna rate it 4.5 stars, and I'll probably give it a 5 on Goodreads. But I enjoyed it. I loved her writing style. And the thing that I sometimes struggle with when I read books about characters that have anxiety, I sometimes get very anxious reading those books. And I felt like Alison Cochran did a very good job of like balancing that. And I just loved the seamlessness of this book. I thought the found family elements were great, and I think the last like 50 pages really gave Ellie more of a life, and I think that was amazing because Ellie was very, very isolated throughout most of this book. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I'm happy that I picked it up. I know me and Peace Love Books were listening to it at the same exact time, so I'm excited to hear her thoughts. And I will definitely be interested in going back and reading the Charm Offensive eventually. So I have a stack of books for, I think it's the Vixen prompt. You have to like pick a random number generator. So I grabbed all the Christmas books off my TBR that are not for other prompts. And I also have an ebook and a book from Kindle that I'm going to add to my stack. So yeah, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to pick a book, and then we'll chat about it, and we'll see what I'm going to read next. But this far was a 4-star read. I'm really, really happy. And I think tomorrow I'll definitely be able to be able to finish. But 8 Nights of Flirting, I'm at the tail end of that, so I'm very excited for that. So I'm going to pick my next read, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Random number gods have chosen, and I'm going to read Blackmail and Biblica. Or Benica? It's like I'm so bad with names, but I know what it says. I just can't pronounce it. When her long lost cousin comes from town, those that are big trouble can't be far behind. Yeah, so this is a Christmas one in Shady Palms. And the blackmail is on the agenda. I have really liked her other previous 2 books in this series, and I remember I read like all of my cozy mysteries last year. Like I read all of the second books, and this was the book series that like I loved all of them. Like I thought that the second one was a really fun addition, and I struggled with both Finley Donovan is killing it, and also For Aunties and a Wedding. I just thought that they did the book a little bit of a disservice. So I'm actually super excited to pick up a new book. So I'm going to read Blackmail and Bibnica? I literally cannot pronounce this word. But this is a Teacher Rosa Mysteries. It's set around Christmas. I'm really excited for it. There's a little wiener dog on the cover, and I hope I enjoy it. I have really liked her other ones. And I don't know if I am going to read any more tonight, or I'm going to save it for tomorrow. But I might read a little bit. We'll see. I'm getting a little bit tired. I really didn't sleep that well last night as well. So, but yeah, I'm definitely going to read this tomorrow for sure. And I also am going to finish 8 Nights of Flirting as well. So, we will have a bunch of updates for you guys tomorrow. Yeah, so this will be for the Vixen prompt. And then I will probably get back to my TBR. I wanted to do a week of reading like Christmassy romances. And I have a bunch. So I even have some more on my physical TBR as well, so I might just deviate from my TBR a little bit. But I have a bunch of Christmassy romances, so this will be the week of Christmases romances. Next week will be the fantasy week, and then I'm going to have a sequel vlog as well. And then I'm going to have a New Year vlog, so we're going to have every week's going to be a different theme. Hopefully they all correspond to the Reindeer Readathon. We will see, but that is the goal. So I'm going to go start this, if possible, or I'm going to rest. I don't really know. I might read like the first chapter or so and see how I feel. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I don't sound like a total idiot. It's Blackmail and Babinka, which I think is like a dessert, I think. So that is what it is. It's also super short. So I'm excited to start this. Again, sometimes words get the better of me, as I'm sure they do most people, but Blackmail and Babinka. And this is the 3rd book in the Tita Rosa Kitchen Mystery series. And I have enjoyed the other one. So I'm going to go start this maybe tomorrow, maybe tonight. We will see. Yeah, I'm excited. So I'm going to go do that. And I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow for a more solid update. But yeah, definitely at least a 4.5 star read for me. Like, I really enjoyed it and would definitely recommend it. It's the first sapphic romance I've read that I recall reading. So yeah, quick update. Gonna start this eventually, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But I'll see you guys for another update. Bye, friends. Back. It's a couple of days later. Yesterday was sort of busy. I got my room redone again. Like, it wasn't planned, but like I got more bookshelves and I switched where my clothes are. So the good news is I have a bunch more bookshelves, which will make my planning for the new year a lot easier. But that's what I did most of the day. I like cleaned everything. So I did want to do some updates. I did want to finishing 8 Nights of Flirting. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It was a fun read. Second chance, friends to more, enemies, friends to more, which is probably my favorite trope. I read a couple of those this year, like where they were friends, and then they sort of became enemies, and they became more. I love that trope. So if you want to see a recommendation video, I've read like 3 books this year that had that trope in it that I really enjoyed. So I finished that. I picked up, I think it's like it might be like a companion book to the Christmas romance I read earlier in this vlog, the wintry one. It's by the same author, and this is set in the same exact small town, but it follows the main character, and she's sort of helping out at her aunt's animal sanctuary, and she wound up gets sucked into the small town life, and a drama and romance is on the horizon. So that's what I'm listening to. I think it's called Christmas and Snowflakes. I'll try to attach a picture at some point. Maybe before or after this clip, I would have attached it. But it's cute. I really, really like it. And I'm also reading Blackmail and Babinka. I think I'm saying that wrong. But this is a very, very fun one. I'm definitely enjoying it. Again, when you sort of read a cozy mystery, it's sort of like reading a procedural TV show. So there's a lot of people get to know, and then the first like 50 pages, you meet like 75 characters. Like maybe not, but you meet like a lot of characters. And then you're just sort of like, who are all these people? But in this book, you follow again Lila and her family, and they run their shops, and she's like a little, she runs like a shop. Her family runs a restaurant, and their old cousin comes back to town, and there's a lot of drama with him. He left the family unexpectedly, and a murder that's connected to his work is sort of the catalyst for this home book. So I read about 100 pages. I am enjoying it. I didn't really read last night. It was the Georgia runoffs, and I was like just following election drama, and that was it was just interesting to me. I don't love elections, but I like the process of like watching the returns. I love Steve Kornacki, so that's what I was doing yesterday. So yeah, my goal is to read at least another 50 pages of this tonight and then give you guys a solid update. I would also like to catch up on my YouTube queue. I keep saying that. Hasn't happened yet, but it is a goal. So yeah, I'm gonna go read about 50 more pages of this and give you guys an update. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I just want to come in here and wrap up this reading vlog. I was able to read 3 full Christmas books in this vlog. I actually am about to finish a 4th one, so I'm just going to talk about them all here to wrap it all up. The first book I finished was Christmas in the Scottish Highlands by Donna Ashford. I'm going to attach a photo here so you know what book we're chatting about. It was a very, very cute read. Like it was very, very fun, very, very atmospheric, a lot of Christmas elements. There was definitely like a love to hate romance in here. I felt like the town and the side characters were all part of the story. It was great. This is probably like I really enjoyed this. I think I would definitely read. I have another book by this author in this reading vlog, so I really liked it. I gave it 3.75 stars, and it was enjoyable. The next book I picked up is over there, but it's Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran. Here's a photo. Sort of with the found family element, I really enjoyed this one. It had an LGBTQ plus main character. And it was just really, really fun. There was fake dating. That was like a really interesting twist on fake dating. It was also sort of like a second chance romance, which is definitely my favorite trope to read. And I just loved Alison Cochran's writing style. I thought it was very, very fast paced, very, very witty, but also like very digestible. And I love the anxiety wrap in the story as well. I thought that it was very, very well done. And I enjoyed it, and I gave it like 4.5 stars. It might be a new favorite for the holiday season. But definitely worth a read. And then the last, the next audiobook that I finished was 8 Nights of Flirting by Hannah Reynolds. Here's a photo here. Book that had a lot of favorite tropes. Again, it was set around Hanukkah, which you don't get a ton of books. I think I've read like 3 in the course of my, reading life, and I enjoyed this one immensely. It was sort of like friends to hate to more, which is definitely one of my favorite tropes. Like I read a couple of books this year like with that trope where they were like friends and then something happened, so then they didn't like each other, and then they go back to being maybe something more, so friends again. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought this book really did dive into Judaism and like Jewish history and a lot of stuff. It also gave me 10 Blind Dates vibes. It reminded me of the family in that story, which I loved. And yeah, I gave it like 4 stars. I definitely want to go back and read more by Hannah Reynolds. She has like a historical fiction novel that I have my eye on, but I really enjoyed it. So definitely check it out. And then I literally cannot find this book. I read it. I finished reading it last night, and then I like literally, it's misplaced. It's probably just because my room is a little bit of a mess. But I finished Blackmail and Babinka by Mia. It's this 3rd book in the Tita Rose mystery series, and I love this one. I gave it 4 stars, and it was really, really fun, really, really enjoyable. Not be a good heroine in like a cozy mystery series, because if something is really not my business, I stick my nose out of it. But these characters always get involved in the craziest murder plots, like they just do. This one like was connected a little bit with the main character's life because her cousin came back to town and his business got involved in the murder. So it was a fun read, very enjoyable. I liked seeing the characters again. I liked learning more about their culture during the holidays. It was fun. I gave it 4 stars, and I am excited to see if we get more books in the series because this one was super enjoyable. And then the last book I read in this week that was Christmassy related was another book by Dana Ashford. It's actually a companion book to the first one, but it has a different title. So here's the cover. Basically the same Scottish town, but you follow a main character, and she has a little bit of a troublesome past. Her aunt wound up moving or going away for a couple of months, and she has to come and run the animal sanctuary, and her brothers are like fiercely protective, and they don't think she could do it because she got into an accident. They're like really, really protective of her, but she's determined to do this, and she's also a writer. She had an accident a couple of years ago, so they're super protective, and she winds up having to work with this animal sanctuary, and she has a potential relationship with like a vet, and I really liked it. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm gonna toss it in here, and it's really, really fun. Again, I love this little town. It reminds me of just watching like a Hallmark movie. So a lot of these books were able to work for the Reindeer Readathon, which I'm really, really happy about. But yeah, these are the Christmas romances that I read in the first half of the month. I'm probably going to read a couple more like right around Christmas, like that week. So I'm going to take a couple of weeks off from reading Christmas romances just because I don't want to get burnt out on them, and I really do enjoy them, and I want to read a couple of other things. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what are some of your favorite Christmas romances. And if you want a couple more recs, I'll just toss them in here. 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston is definitely a favorite with me. I normally reread that every year. It's just such a fun one. And so This Is Christmas by Tracy Ardreen is another one that I really, really liked last year as well. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Bookmas video. Bye, friends.